This is the 2018 ordinary level interpenetration question, so it's question B2. It's to do with a set of climbing steps in a children's playground. So we have a pole, a central red pole, and then we have this horizontal bar that's passing in through the pole. It says figure 2 below shows the plan and incomplete elevation of a portion of the arrangement. So it gave you the hint there, it said plan and incomplete elevation. So it's saying start with the plan, start drawing the plan first, then you'll start drawing the elevation. A section through the horizontal step is also shown, so they're showing you what the end view of the step looks like, gives you the measurements there. Draw the given plan and completed elevation showing all lines of interpenetration. So draw the elevation and plan, and then we're going to have to draw an end view of the structure. So to set it up, you start with the plan. The box here, these lines are angled at 45 degrees, so you've got 70 mil side, 100 mil the other side, angled at 45 degrees. That is where you start off from the drawing. So in other words, in plan, I've drawn my box, step up my 20 millimeters, and I can put in my XY line. So XY line then goes in. I project those to elevation and make sure I take note of the numbers. So in other words, I'll step up with line number 1, line 2, this line 4, number 3, and number 2. And again, it's really important that you start making sense of what you're looking at in the drawing. Height of the elevation is 100 millimeters, so I measure up 100, and I'll draw the outline of these. So it's the incomplete elevation they're showing. I'll just show the incomplete elevation. Now, as I said, it's important to figure out what you're looking at. The front of the object is at corner 2. So when I'm looking at the plan, the front of the object here, this is the back of the object. So it means that number 2 is going to be visible. It's at the front. I'm going to draw that in straight away just to help make sense of the object. So that is line 2, 2. Line 1, 1 is here. 3, 3 is here, and 4, 4 is at the back. And 4, 4, I'm not even going to draw it in because it's not seen at the minute. We'll only need it when we come to the end view. It told us to draw the elevation and plan first, so in other words, we should be able to complete the elevation and plan without having to draw the end view in this question. To do that, they gave us the profile of the horizontal bar. So it said that it came up 20 millimeters, and I'm just going to draw this anywhere out to the side. It doesn't really matter where. So it said up 20 millimeters. It was 50 millimeters wide, so the base of it was 50 mil wide. So I'll measure out 50 mil wide. I'll get the center of it, 25, and I'll just put a center line on that. Height of that was 50 millimeters. So there's our height, and on top it reduces into 20 millimeters. So I'll measure my width 10 millimeters out either side from that center line. That gives me the profile of it. That's not going to be part of the end view, it's just a spare piece to the drawing I've drawn in. And what that now lets me do is it lets me draw in the elevation of the block that sticks in through the vertical one. So it means I can take my lines. I'm going to label those straight away. I label them A, B, C, and D. And those lines are going to cut through the block. So I just cut it off here. I think it's 30 mil in the drawing. I'm going to cut it off closer to the edge just to save space on my drawing. And I'll cut it off in here a little bit as well, just so it fits on the visualizer. I think it's due to stick out 30 millimeters each side. That is the drawing pretty much set up. When I come back to the actual elevation and plan, you can see that the edge here passes through this corner, and on my drawing that is corner number 3. So corner 3, the edge passes through. So what it means is that this section is 20 mil. This entire section on the bottom is 50. So 20 widening out to 50. I can draw that in. So again, it passes through corner 3. The top surface of it is 20 mil. Sorry, 20 mil. So here's our top surface drawn in. And overall it was 50. So in other words, you can set up a center line if you want to make it easier for yourselves. So in other words, here is the center of the object. I'll step out 25 either side. 25 and 25. Or alternatively, you could have just stepped out 15 millimeters. Either way, it's going to let me draw on the plan view of that. I'm just taking down the sides of it from the elevation, and it lets me draw on the plan. And what this gives me is where each of those lines cut into the vertical piece. We label them up then. I've got A, B, C and D. So I've got A, B, C and D. And now I can see where A hits the vertical side, B hits the vertical side, C hits the vertical side, and D hits it. So in other words, I can take those points up into the elevation. Here's where point A comes up. I take it up to the height where A comes across. So that is my point A in elevation. B then, I take it up and it comes right up. So B comes up from plan, and again B comes across. I get B. That gives me the shape for the left hand side coming in. C and D are on the back, but they won't be visible. So C, if I brought it up, would be up here, and D would be down the bottom. But again, they're not visible. They're at the back of the object, so we can't see them. They would be shown with broken lines. That lets me finish out the left hand side of the object. Here it is. And that's a complete. The right hand side can be done in the same way. Right hand side is a little bit trickier, however, just given the fact that it bends around the corner. But still, A comes in, hits the edge here at A. B comes in, hits the edge at B. C comes in and hits corner 3 at C. D comes in and hits a D. And it's the same system. We bring those points up. Again, my lines are labelled. A comes up to elevation. Again, here's point A brought across. So that gives me A on the right hand side. B brought up to elevation. And again, point B across. So we get AB. C hits on the corner. So again, when we take C up, I can take C up here, but it hits on this edge. C comes across. This is where point C is going to be. And D on the back, same thing. D comes up. And again, D comes across. But again, A and B are the 2 points at the front of the object. Those are the ones that are going to be seen. So when I come to draw in my shape, A to B is the section that's going to be seen. That is the elevation of the question complete. To draw the end elevation, which is the second part of the question, we always use our 45-degree angle. So from the edge of the elevation and plan, so here's the widest part of the elevation and plan, where that cuts the XY line, I take out my 45-degree line. I'm just going to take it with a dark broken line so you can see it. There it is. Take points 1, 2, 3 and 4 up to elevation. So 1 comes across, 2 comes across, take point 3 across, and 4 across. And they come up into my elevation. Here's 4, bring it up to elevation. Number 1, here it is, brought up to elevation. Number 3, here it is. And last one, number 2, here it is, brought across. It's right down the corner and brought up. Let's extend that up. Again, the height of all of those lines is here in elevation. It's going to be the same in the end elevation. So when I come across, that gives me the end view of my box. And I'll just show the shape of them coming down for the time being. So that's the outline of the end view drawn in. Now I need to come along and set up the position of the horizontal bar. So the horizontal bar is going to be here someplace. Again, I do the same thing. I've got A, B, C and D in plan. Each of those are going to come up. So when I take, I'll start off with A across to my 45-degree line, up to elevation. Again, here is my line A in elevation. I take the height across. That gives me A. B, take it out of plan, up into elevation. And when I come across, here is B, I take it across into the elevation. So I copy my height across, and we get point B. So B across from elevation and out of the plan, brought up. Point C, I've already done. Here's point C coming up out of plan. Point C coming across, so we have that done for us already. Point D to my 45-degree line and up. And again, I brought D across and up. Take D out of the elevation. We get D. That gives me the shape of the horizontal bar and end view. And that gives me the entire end view then. The corner 1 will be seen, and the other corner will be broken. That is the that is the question completed. We can label up the corners just to make sense of them. Here's 2, 2. 3, 3 is here. 4, 4, so 4 is here. And 1 is here. And we're done.